Welcome back, focused learners. I am so excited to dive into today's explainer because we're embarking on a journey to uncover the mechanics behind a digital asset that is literally reshaping global finance. For years, people just dismissed it as magic internet money. But today, it's sitting front and center of every financial headline, boardroom strategy, and dinner table conversation. And more importantly, and this is what we're really focusing on today, for millions of people living in unstable economies, it has become the ultimate tool for true financial freedom. We are talking, of course, about Bitcoin.
Now, to understand exactly where we are, we kind of have to remember where we started. Back in 2010, an early adopter made a very hungry and now incredibly famous decision. They spent exactly 10,000 Bitcoin to buy 2 pizzas. Yeah, 2 pizzas. At the time, it was just a fun little experiment, but today, well, that same amount of Bitcoin would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That legendary story is wild, absolutely. But it's not just about some massive price increase. It's really the starting point of an evolution. It forces us to ask why a piece of code, something you literally can't even touch, just exploded in value.
And it brings us to this really profound question. What if your money actually worked for you and not the government? We need to completely shift our thinking right here. Forget the daily price charts for a minute. Forget all the tech speculation. We are talking about the highest stakes imaginable here, your personal financial sovereignty. We're talking about a system where you, and only you, actually own the value of your labor.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the global trust crash.
Because to really understand why Bitcoin is winning, you have to understand why the old system is breaking down. For generations, we all basically followed the exact same playbook, right? We trusted this simple promise. Save your money, let it sit safely in a bank, and it'll hold its value. But during the 2008 financial crisis, a massive shift happened. Central banks all over the world just started printing trillions of dollars to bail out failing institutions. And honestly, they haven't really stopped since. When you print infinite money, every single dollar, euro, or peso you hold becomes worth just a little bit less. Your hard-earned savings basically turn into melting ice cubes. The cost of groceries, rent, gas, it all goes up, meaning your money has to work twice as hard just to keep you in the exact same place. It triggered a massive global trust crash.
Which leads us to Section 2, lifeboats in a storm. Now, what's really interesting here is that while inflation is often viewed as kind of just an annoyance in the West, in other parts of the world, it is an absolute catastrophe. Let's look at the sheer scale of the crisis. We're seeing some absolutely staggering currency devaluation rates recently. We're talking 200% in Argentina, 150% in Turkey, 100% in Brazil. These aren't just abstract numbers. This is people's entire life savings being wiped out in the blink of an eye. Just imagine waking up and realizing the money you carefully saved for 10 years can suddenly only buy a month's worth of food.
Let's anchor those massive numbers to a very real human story. Picture a single mom in Brazil. Her local currency is literally vanishing before her eyes. For her, Bitcoin isn't some speculative tech gamble on Wall Street. It is a literal lifeboat. By exchanging her rapidly devaluing fiat currency into Bitcoin, she's actually protecting her grocery money. She's protecting her family. For people in unstable economies, this digital asset is a crucial way to step outside of a broken system that's just eating their wealth alive. It's financial freedom born out of absolute necessity. So you might be wondering, how exactly does a digital asset fix the massive problem of hyperinflation?
Let's get into it in Section 3, the 21 million rule.
To really grasp the solution to hyperinflation, we have to wrap our heads around one totally vital concept, and that is absolute scarcity. Bitcoin introduced something the world had literally never seen before. There is a hard, unbreakable mathematical limit built straight into its code. Only 21 million coins will ever exist. That's it. Not 22 million, not 100 billion, just 21. No president, no central bank, and no CEO can ever just hit a panic button and print more. It cannot be diluted, and it absolutely cannot be politically manipulated.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between the two models. On one side, you have traditional fiat currency, an unlimited supply controlled by flawed humans and frankly designed to lose value over time. Then, on the other hand, you have Bitcoin, a strict 21 million cap, completely controlled by math, acting as this deflationary digital gold. Because the supply is fixed, as demand goes up, the value naturally pushes upward. It is literally the perfect digital armor against inflation.
Moving right along to Section 4, a borderless financial network.
But see, this asset isn't just a shiny digital gold bar sitting in a vault somewhere. It's an incredibly active, living network that moves value around the world without banks, without permission, and without gatekeepers. Just compare the old way of moving money to the new way. If you want to send money using a traditional international wire, it comes with super high fees, it takes days to settle, and worst of all, you need a bank's permission. They can freeze your account or just flat out deny the transfer. Now look at Bitcoin, specifically using its Layer 2 technology called the Lightning Network. You can send value across the entire planet for actual pennies. It settles in seconds, and it is completely permissionless. This is doing to the banking industry exactly what email did to the postal service. It is a total paradigm shift. Grounding this in real-world applications is where the power of this network truly shines. Think about a Russian artist who has been entirely cut off from PayPal or traditional banking. Well, with Bitcoin, she can sell her art to a buyer in New York and receive those funds instantly. Look at Somali entrepreneurs who are using this exact network to bypass broken local infrastructure so they can build global businesses and process remittances. It's completely censorship-resistant. Nobody can tell you who you can or cannot transact with. It is empowering the unbanked and restricted individuals globally, finally giving them a seat at the macroeconomic table for the very first time.
Which brings us to Section 5, True Financial Sovereignty.
Let's move to and see how this builds from those powerful individual stories into a true global tipping point. Wall Street giants like BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, have launched spot ETFs, bringing trillions in institutional capital right into the space. Huge corporations like MicroStrategy are holding over 800,000 Bitcoin in their corporate treasuries. And entire nation-states like El Salvador have actually made it legal tender. But here's the thing, this institutional adoption is crucial because it fortifies and secures the very network that acts as that lifeboat for the unbanked we discussed earlier. Governments and corporations are no longer trying to ban it, they're actively competing to own it. The network effect is playing out right before our eyes, and guys, it is irreversible.
I absolutely love this quote. Bitcoin doesn't ask for your trust, it asks for your math. I mean, that just hits the nail on the head. This gets right to the heart of the movement. We are living through a profound transfer of trust right now. People are just tired of placing their faith in failing human institutions, broken promises, and endless money printing. Instead, they are transferring their trust to undeniable, transparent, and fair code. It's a system where everyone, literally from a billionaire down to a local plumber, plays by the exact same rules.
History keeps rewarding the curious. The ones who looked at the internet in the 90s or smartphones in the 2000s and actually took the time to understand them before the rest of the crowd caught on. The exit door to a broken financial system is wide open. For millions in unstable economies, it has already become an absolute tool for survival. So, the ultimate question this source material leaves us with is this: are you ready to understand this financial revolution? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.